So my name is Jason Faircloth. I'm a product manager at Marin Bikes, and this is the 2012 Riftzone XC7 29er. New to the line this year is 29er suspension in general for Marin. If you're familiar with Marin Bikes for the last few years, this is going to look like a really different design to you. This is the third version of the quad link suspension. This is quad 3.0. Sort of the design philosophy is similar between this bike and the previous bikes. The execution's a little bit different. What we've done is we've made a rear triangle instead of a swing arm. We've moved the rear shock out from within the linkage of the suspension system. And that's allowed us a number of different advantages. One is we can build a bike with bigger wheels, for one. It gives us some options for leverage ratios, and it gives us a lot more flexibility with front triangle geometry because our suspension system's not anchored to the down tube the way that it used to be. And with the new open rear triangle, it also allows us to build a lighter weight, stiffer suspension system. Well, it's as stiff but less weight because of the triangulation. So it still uses the same aircraft bearings that we've always used in our suspension system. It's still a 4-bar linkage system. There's a linkage here and there's another one back here behind the crankset. The reason we came to Quad 3 is as bikes become a little bit more trail-worthy over time, we found that what we wanted was to get something that was a little bit more linear. The quad suspension system's always been progressive, which means that it starts off with a higher leverage ratio and finishes with a lower. So that's a rising rate. But what we wanted was we wanted to get more performance out of the middle and late stroke of the rear shock. And so we flattened out that curve a little bit, and the way we were able to do that is by pulling the shock out and activating it with a rocker link rather than having it captured inside the suspension. What that means to the rider is that you're going to get more use and sort of better performance out of the middle and late stroke of the travel, and the parking lot test, the bike's going to feel like it has more travel versus a quad 2 bike of the same travel measurement. Pretty straightforward bike. It's a combination of 6061 and 6066 aluminum. Quick release dropout in the rear, tapered head tube on the 29er here. Quad 3 suspension systems used on the Riftzone 29er, the Riftzone 26, and the Mount Vision this year, which is 140 millimeters of travel. Between the different bikes, moving the rear shock out allows us to give different trail ride characteristics for different levels of travel. So this is a little bit tighter. It ramps up a little bit more to give it better sort of XC racer or XC trail capabilities, and then you move over to the longer travel bikes and it definitely has a little bit more linear feel and works further into the travel, feels like it's a little bit plusher.